Advent is always such a bitter irony for me. Here we have this season calling us to hope, announcing how things are going to get better. Everyone look, a king is coming. All while the days are getting literally darker, colder, and more stressful. I mean, this is 6 o'clock. Are you kidding me? For most people, it's the most stressful time of the year, in fact. Exams for students and teachers, constant celebrations for restaurant staff, shopping sprees for retail workers and business owners, order overloads for delivery companies. And if you live in Georgia, yet another election. Here we are in this season of supposed hope, and yet all I can think about sometimes are all the negative things all around us. We've got attack ads and wars and epidemics and gun violence and falling education and moral decay. Everywhere you look, it seems like something is going wrong. It can be a lot to handle sometimes. And so, how wonderful it is then that we have this season to remind us that Jesus Christ has already come into this world, that God became a human being like us so that we could become like him, that he walked among us, that our salvation is at hand because God has been with us. How wonderful it is then that we have this season to remind us that Jesus Christ will come again, that there will come a day when justice will reign and all that plagues us in this world will one day be gone. And so, yes, we have hope in what God has already done for us. Of course, we have hope in the future. No matter what we face today, we know that these two truths will keep us going. I know it and I believe it. And yet, even though I believe those things, I truly do, there's a part of me that can't help but feel a little bit like Martha when her brother Lazarus died. There she was mourning the loss of her brother, feeling utter despair in that moment. And she was only partially cheered up by Jesus' reminder of the resurrection. Yes, I know that he will rise on the last day, she says. Yes, I trust in the future. I know that tomorrow, I have hope he will rise. But I'm in today, and tomorrow just seems so far away. I don't know what to do right now. Maybe you feel like this from time to time as well. Maybe you have faith in what God has done and what God will do, but for right now, in the darkness, you find yourself struggling in the middle, missing the past, and impatient for the future. In these cases, remember what Jesus says to Martha next. I am the resurrection. Not as some past event, not as some future hope, but I am, in the here and the now. As you weep and mourn, Martha, I walk among you as the way, the truth, and the life, the living God who has the power to save, and I am at work in the world today. What does Jesus so often say in the Gospels? The kingdom of heaven is at hand. The kingdom of heaven is at hand, here, now, not in the past, not in the future, but right now. Sometimes in Advent, we can get so caught up in saying that we're waiting for Jesus' arrival that we forget that he's been with us all along. When we serve the least among us, Jesus says that we do it for him. When 2 or 3 are gathered in his name, he is there. When we offer simple bread and wine, a sacrifice in the Mass, we receive him into ourselves, body, blood, soul, and divinity. Our hope is not found merely in some distant past. Our hope is not something yet to come. Our hope can be found today, in our world, in our daily lives. We just need to know where to look. Let me show you. For me, I find Jesus working among high schoolers at a Catholic school. Sure, they're a bit awkward at times, but you can't beat their creativity, their enthusiasm for life, their inquisitiveness. It gives me life. These students are recognized for being among the highest academic achievers in the state and are so athletically gifted that they have no place to put all their trophies, and yet still find the time to fulfill service hours and to donate to worthwhile causes. Right now, they're collecting toys for Christmas, but 3 weeks ago, they collected nearly 10,000 cans for Thanksgiving, a down year for them. When I look at all that they do, all that they are, all that I know that they will do to make this world a better place, I'm filled with hope. Jesus is here among these students. But he's not just with teenagers, he's with the little ones as well. You want to talk about unbridled joy, wild imaginations, and smiles that will make you just melt? Try working with elementary school students at a Catholic school. Last week at the all-school Mass, I asked the students this question. If Jesus were to come back today, if he were to walk through that door right now, would you be ready? A few middle schoolers raised their hand tentatively, a few more 3rd and 4th graders. But of course, wouldn't you know it, every single kindergartner, 1st grader, and 2nd grader shot their hands up with excitement. You would have thought I was offering free ice cream. There's a purity to their lives, an innocence to who they are. They are by no means perfect little angels, don't get me wrong. They have outbursts of anger and jealousy. They do what they know they're not supposed to do. But when I look into their eyes, when I see how simply they understand God's love and respond to it, I am filled with hope. Jesus is absolutely here among these students. But maybe you don't have an opportunity to work with children on a day-to-day basis. Maybe you can't connect with the best and the brightest right before they go off to change the world. For you, I've left the best for last. A homeless day shelter run by the Daughters of Charity. Here, you will not find the best and the brightest. You won't find people with inspiring stories and bright futures. You'll find people who are down on their luck, people who have made bad decisions probably, people who are quite literally living on the street. These are the people that society deems not worthy of our attention. And yet, here you will find one of the most talented pianists I've ever heard play. You will find people that are more resourceful surviving with absolutely nothing than anybody I know. You'll find people who have just spent the night in the cold and rain and still walk up to me and ask if I'm doing okay. Are they perfect? By no means. They can be rude, they can fight, they can steal, they can curse you out if they don't get what they want when they want it. Yes, it can be difficult sometimes to work with this population, but it's also important to remember how we might act if we were with them. It's for this reason that we have such a wonderful ministry here, people that remind them of their dignity, remind them of how God has so wonderfully created them. It's for this reason that people see this great wonder and they offer free medical care through their nurses. They offer food to strengthen their bodies. Caseworkers try to work with them to get their lives back in order. How amazing it is to see people devote their lives to caring for those who are cast out and forgotten. Why? Because when I look into their eyes, when I see how God has so wonderfully created humanity in His image and identifies with the poor, I am filled with hope. Jesus is as present in them as He is in anyone on this earth. And so, in this time of Advent, this time of great darkness, it is my great desire that you may know the hope that I experience each and every day. As we read the stories of Christ's birth, as we hear the prophets announcing His second coming in glory, let us not forget that He never left us completely in the first place. I am with you always, He says, until the end of the age. Our world may appear to be falling apart at times, growing ever darker and ever colder, but Jesus is alive, giving hope to all who believe and light to all who see. Sometimes we just need to know where to look. Where do you find hope today?